Let's talk about Bvlgari watches, and in particular, the Bvlgari Diagono. And the one I have here is the Bvlgari reference number DG40SV. I'll do a bit of an unboxing and give you my thoughts, such as they are, about the watch. Now, I've already bought and sold the one that I'm specifically talking about here, which is why you've got a disembodied head talking to you about the watch. But if you're interested in luxury goods, well, do check out my website, luxuryworks.co. I'll link to that in the description below. Anyway, let's focus on this particular watch, the Bvlgari Diagono. Now, Bvlgari is reasonably well known within the watch world. They're probably most well known for the Octo, which I think is a very handsome looking watch. And in particular with the Octo, they seem to use that to try to pioneer particularly thin movements, which I guess is nice to have. But of course, here we're talking about a rather cheaper watch, a watch that is, or Bvlgari, but significantly cheaper than going out and buying a new Octo from the Bvlgari boutique. So let's talk about some of the specifics. And obviously I'm going to be droning on a bit, but I'll try to not be too boring, at least relative to prior videos that I've done on these things anyway. Now, this particular watch was a full set. It came with the outer box, the inner box, the documents, and that type of thing, which is often, I guess, nice to have, I guess. Now, the outer box is, well, cardboard, but nicely done cardboard. The inner box is a nicely presented box. I think it's good quality. I think it's better than average. I don't think there's anything unusual about it, but it is a box. The documentation, again, nothing particularly to talk about there. It's just lots of pieces of paper, which is, well, in reality, the case with most documentation, to be honest. I probably wouldn't have opened it up, but to check the actual documentation was there, and also to just kind of do this video. But nevertheless, it's always worthwhile getting that type of thing when buying a watch. Now, if we actually look at the watch itself, which is probably a little bit more interesting, well, I'll start off with the aesthetics of the watch. Like I said, brushed stainless steel, 40 millimeters, and it has this black bezel going around it, which I think looks rather nice. It's very similar to the Bvlgari range of watches. It has Bvlgari emblazoned around the bezel. It has a rubber type feel, or at least appearance to it, and you want to be really careful with scratching the bezel, because I hate to think about how difficult it's going to be to fix that if you end up scratching the bezel. So it probably is more there for aesthetics than it is for this to be a tool watch or anything similar. Still, it creates a bit of a point of difference from most bezels that are various different iterations of Pepsi or Coke color waves. Anyway, we've got the bezel, and if we look at the dial in particular, it has a grid type pattern to it. Now, the grid pattern is faintly reminiscent of the Royal Oak. I say faintly reminiscent because that's like saying any grid is like the Royal Oak. But still, I think it creates texture. It works well for this watch because it's kind of a casual watch as opposed to a formal watch. I think it's good. Now, when you combine the bezel with the dial, with the numbers running inside the dial, I think it has good textual integrity, to use, I guess, an artsy type term. I think everything works well together. And in particular, when you add on the crown, which also has that contrast, the black contrast going around it, which adds some texture, so good for grip, but also creates a point of difference. I think the whole watch works together. I think the brushed stainless steel, which is what the case is made of, also works with the dial and the bezel and the crown. I think everything sits nicely together to look like it belongs as a cohesive whole. Now, the case, like I've said, is brushed stainless steel. This continues around to the back of the case, which is closed case back. Not a huge amount to say about that, but brushed stainless steel on this type of watch is clearly going to work better than polished stainless steel. The main downside is that if you scratch it, then fixing that up is going to be a bit of a pain. Nevertheless, I think the watch looks nice enough. It is, like I've said, clearly a casual watch as opposed to a formal watch or one you'd necessarily wear to work, but it has its purpose. Now, like I've said, the crown looks interesting. It's easy to operate. I had no problem changing the time and changing the date. it appeared, at least from my usage, that clicking the crown into position was very, very doable, so not a huge amount to say about that other than the crown looks nice and it works. Now, the movement itself, it's slightly challenging to find good quality information on this, and I was not going to open up the watch and then have to reseal everything in order to check out the movement. So you'll have to excuse my slight laziness with this. Still, I did some searching, and the information I got, and you can correct me on this if you believe that I'm wrong, but the information that I found about the movement was the BVL191 movement, reportedly with 26 joules, 42 hours of power reserve, and 28,800 beats per minute. Now, those features, the 26 joules, 42 hour power reserve, 2800 beats per minute, those are relatively standard features that you would have in a watch of this nature. The watch seems to be relatively smooth in terms of the second hand going around, so I'd say the movement is perfectly functional for what it is. It's not just a rip-off ETR movement, from what I can gather. It's not just a repackaged Solita, from what I can gather. It does appear to be at least bespoke-ish, as far as I can tell from my research on this, and I'm okay with the movement. Like I said, I don't know that I have a ton more to say about that and about the functionality, other than it works. In terms of other aesthetics things, I forgot to mention that it has loom on the hours markers, which should probably come as no surprise. It works well enough. Clearly, loom wears out as the watch gets older, but nothing particularly problematic there. If you look at the strap, like I've said, it's rubber. It's relatively common for a casual watch to have a rubber strap. The odd feature of this is that if you look at the strap, you'll see it has what look like links in it made out of rubber, which is unusual for a rubber strap. I'm not sure how I feel about that, in that I think it looks odd. I think they make the strap a little bit less nice to wear, but at least it looks different from all of the other rubber straps. So I don't know whether I like the difference more than I like the oddness of it, but at least it is different. I'll give them credit for that. And it feels comfortable when you wear it. The sizing in particular at 40 millimeters, I think, is probably the sweet spot in terms of sizing. I think it's the size where the largest number of people are going to be comfortable buying the watch. Now, clearly, different people will find the size different. Some might find it too big, some might find it too small, but 40 millimeters or thereabouts is a good consensus size, so I'm happy enough to have gotten that. Now, it wears, I'd say not like a large 40 millimeter, in that you'll often notice with Rolexes, or to some extent with a Mont Blanc I'm wearing at the moment, which is actually 36 millimeters, some watches appear to be a bit larger wearing than they actually are. I don't think that's the case with the Diagono, but of course your mileage might vary, and if in doubt, you'd want to go to a boutique and at least wear something similar to the watch. Anyway, those are my thoughts about the Bvlgari Diagono. If you've made it this far, well, thank you for slogging through this video, which might be the most boring YouTube watch review, well, on YouTube, until the next video that I put out. Anyway, you can let me know your thoughts about the watch, and if you're interested in buying any luxury goods, well, check out my website, which I'll link to in the description below. And otherwise, I will hopefully see you next time as well.